Yes, people, welcome to another edition of From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio, hosted by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note, and I'm here with my regular co-host, JV, and Mr. I've seen more in the night than you've seen in your life, Bloodstro. What you man saying? Everything good?
Silence.
Everything good. I see Jay. For anyone who's listening and not watching, JV was currently dancing when I asked that question. So I take it he's good. JV, are you good, yeah?
Yo, I'm good, brother. Good, brother. Lockdown, cook food, Call of Duty. I'm blessed, fam.
Yeah. You love it. You loving life. You loving life. As always, when I start the show, salute to everybody who is supporting the show and supports Pi Radio on a whole as well. Obviously, last week's show, we did our Premier League best evers, 99 to 2009. And we all picked our 11s, and then we got as far as the goalkeepers, the defenders, the midfielders. So on this week's show, we'll be discussing the attackers and also the strikers as well. If you are listening to the show live now on Pi Radio, immediately after the show's done at 8 o'clock, the video will be out on the Sarcasm City YouTube channel. So immediately after, the video will be out, and then the audio will be out at a later date on SoundCloud and Spotify. So quickly anyway, for anyone who didn't hear last week's show, we'll start with you, Stro. Just run through your 11 quickly. Run through. You don't have to explain anything. Just run through your 11 very quickly.
Jack, Neville, Terry, Ferdinand, Ashley Cole, Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, and then Henry, Shearer, and Drogba.
All right. JV, run through yours very quick.
Yeah, mine was a 4-2-3-1. In goal was Van der Sar. Right back, I had Gary Neville. I had Stam and Vidic centre-backs. Ashley Cole left back. Two defensive midfielders, Keane and Vieira. Three behind the striker was Ronaldo, Rooney, and Henry. And then my centre forward was good old Shearer.
Yeah, cool. And mine was a 4-3-3 people. I had check and goal, like JV and Stroh. I had right back Gary Neville, left back Ashley Cole. I had Rio Ferdinand and Stam as my centre backs. In midfield three, I had a midfield three of Keane, Vieira, and Scholes. I had Ronaldo on the right, Henry on the left, and Drogba as my 9 up top. So we just ran through our teams there. So we got as far, like I said, as the central midfielders. So we'll start with the wide players. So we'll start with the right winger and the left. So JV, we'll start with you. Why did you pick Ronaldo and was it Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you went the exact same as me. So yeah, Ronaldo and Henry. I think you had, to me, having a Premier League 11 and not having Ronaldo in it is criminal.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo was there. Ronaldo, to me, it's just a question of the 9. You have to have Ronaldo and Henry in your front 2 or front 3.
You see what it is with the Ronaldo as well?
Yeah.
For the younger audience, they might not realise how good Ronaldo was. They might just think Ronaldo might have had a standout season and went over there, but you forget that he was doing like 40 goals a season at like 22, 23. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. And I think also... Go on.
Like it's... you name me a player who... Check this. You name me a player... Obviously, probably apart from Messi, who hit their peak and consistently did what he has done throughout his career. He's 35 now. We can arguably say he's had what? You can probably argue he's had 15 years at the top.
Yeah, it's crazy. And one thing with Ronaldo as well, I think detriment to, because he's been that good, it's been detriment to his success. Because we look at Ronaldo throughout the Real Madrid years, and obviously that Ronaldo, world-class, phenomenal. And because he wasn't as good at United, people kind of like brush over it. Like, just because he kicked on doesn't mean he wasn't world-class then. You know what I mean? Obviously, it wasn't. Obviously, United didn't get the Madrid Ronaldo, but the one at United was incredible. And that goes, he was that good that since he left, United have been nowhere near a Champions League semi-final.
You know what it is with him as well?
What?
I think people probably think, oh, you know, he just got that good because he was at Madrid. No, I think if we kept him, he'd be the same. He'd do the same.
Yeah.
I think it's all down to him as a person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think Ronaldo would have been that Ronaldo at United. Yeah. It's just a shame that he's not, called Cristiano Ronaldo, and he was born in Warrington. and he wanted to play for United. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like he's an English guy. If he's an English guy with that ability, we probably keep him for his whole career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Because he's already at a big club. Do you get what I'm saying? It's the whole thing of him being foreign, and they have the law to the big clubs. But yeah, you have to go with Ronaldo. Like literally, one thing we had over in the Prem, I think we had over the Real Madrid Ronaldo was the free kicks. I don't think the free kicks were as much successful at Real Madrid. I think that's when at Madrid he become more of the 9, what we see today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He slowly molded into that player. Don't get me wrong, when he first went there, he was banging free kicks, but he wasn't at the rate what he was when he was over here. You know what I mean? I think he's a totally different player. I actually think there's not been a player as good as Man United Ronaldo for a very long time. Never mind Real Madrid Ronaldo and Juventus Ronaldo. There's not been a player as good as that. I say bar Messi. I don't think there's been a player on that level what he had at that age. The only other player I can think of who was probably as good at that age is Mbappe.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because people forget he scored 42 goals in the season. Like people forget that. Like that's ridiculous. And he wasn't at like a 25, 26, 27, 28, like the prime age. This is a youngster still learning his trade in a foreign country.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was incredible. But yeah, Stro, so obviously with yours, I can see your strike force. Like you've just like, not with positions, you were just like, I rate this player, I rate this player, I rate this player. I'm just going to play this in. So in your team, I don't think you picked it. I could be wrong. You obviously correct me if I'm wrong, as in this is the 11 that's going to play. You just put the 11 best out rather than combinations. Because you went for Shearer. Who was it? Shearer? My memory's terrible. Tell me who you got again.
Shearer, Henry and Drogba.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm guessing Henry would play from like behind Shearer and Drogba in a 2. Okay, now that makes sense. That makes sense. So how come no? So all right. So out of those 3, I want to ask you, who did you pick last out of the 3 you've got?
Drogba.
Drogba was the one you picked. Fair enough. And Shearer was your first pick, I'm guessing.
No, Henry.
Oh, Henry was your first pick then. So it's Henry, Shearer, then Drogba was your 3. I'm just trying to get your thinking behind it. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Because we've all picked the same front 3. Like we've all picked from the same pool. Like me and JV have 2 of the same. Like I think all of us have 2 of the same. Because I think it is literally between those 4: Ronaldo, Henry, Shearer, Drogba. I think that's the 4. I think if there was a 4th striker, we'd all probably pick the same.
Yeah, definitely.
We'd all probably pick the same. Yeah, we ran through that. That was a pretty non-starter, to be honest. Go on, Jay.
You know what though? The one player we've done our bit on Ronaldo. We've got to give the Henry his props.
Okay.
I can't go without this section without speaking about Henry.
Yeah.
You had your Cantona. So you had your Cantona. He came in and everyone wanted to do this collar thing. You know what I'm saying? Henry came in. You tell me before Henry, man didn't know about finishing, bro. Man didn't know about finesse. Since Henry, bro, telling me when you was a youth man, you didn't try shooting like Henry. I
still do now.
There you go. That's what I'm
now. That's
man brought in a type of shooting. What are you talking about, fam?
That is it.
A way of shooting, a whole different type. He was not the first, but in the Prem, I think he was one of the first to bring he was like the hybrid for the Ronaldos, the Messis to come, that winger striker type thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where you can, like, before that, your striker was all right, let's think. Before your striker, it was
your Shearers.
Your Shearers, your Wrights, your Coles, your Yorks. The most you could do is maybe drop back a bit.
Yeah.
But peeling out wide and being as effective out wide as you are up front, or taking it, to me, he didn't just take it into the channel. He didn't just take and receive it in the channel. He would go on the wing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I fully understand what you're saying.
Because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because with Henry, that's a very, very good point, actually. It became the Henry finish. That's what we call that. When a player who is right-footed goes out to the left-hand side and cuts in on his right foot and curls it into the far corner, that became the Henry finish. Like, we look at that now as the Henry finish. everybody says that. Everyone's like, yeah, that's Henry-esque. Like, Theo Walcott scored a goal. I can't remember who it was against. Theo Walcott scored a goal against somebody, and he did that. And everyone was like, oh, this is when he was at Arsenal as well. People were like, yeah, he's the next Henry. Obviously, he's not, but that's testament to how good Henry is that the finish is named after him. Like, yeah, it's Thierry Henry-esque, and he retired yonks ago, and it's still now when you see players do it. Commentators will refer to it, commentators and pundits will refer to it, yes, especially if they're in an Arsenal shirt as well. Like, oh, it's Henry-esque.
Or the French.
Or they're French, yes. Yes, because I've said it. I think I myself have said it about Martial. Like, I've said it. And one thing else I said about Martial, and this is not criticism of it, but something I'd like to see added to his game. Obviously, he's playing as a 9 now. But when he was playing at the left, don't always cut in on your right foot. Sometimes go down the left-hand side, because Henry could do that. Yes. Henry didn't always cut in, and this is testament to how good he is. Because I think all three of us on this, he was our first pick. I was like, I can't leave Henry out. To me, it was Henry and 2 others. No, I tell a lie. It was Henry, Ronaldo, and then 1 other. That third spot was the toughest.
That's why I picked like a front 4 almost. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, that's why you added Rooney in.
Yeah, I can't leave out Rooney, fam.
Fair enough.
I can't leave out Rooney simply for the fact of, with how my team's set up, Rooney can also be a second striker. Yeah. If them 2 are out wide, but he can also do the drop back.
Okay.
Rooney for me is the ultimate in that. See that number 10? Yeah. He's easily the best English number 10. I can't tell you about no Gascoigne and that.
Yeah, because before our time, I hear what you're saying.
His best era was a year after I was born, fam. You know what I mean? I'm not one of these guys to be like, oh, so and so was cool. Well, if I can't see you, then yeah, man, you're one for history. Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
I've never seen an Englishman be able to play how Rooney played. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Because obviously that's going before our time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Rooney was but I don't like to call him a number 10 because really Rooney was devastating centre forward.
But interesting with that. Before we move on, I was just going to ask a question, but before we move on, it's interesting you mentioned that because as good as him being all action-packed is good for his game, I also think it was detrimental to his game because Henry, someone mentioned it to me, Henry had done an interview or as a piece, and he said, I think he said it to himself about Wayne Rooney, and he was like, conserve your energy because when you get a chance in the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes, you want to be as fresh as you possibly can be to take that chance. And obviously this comes down to, we spoke on this in terms of when JV mentioned about how the French are elegant and how they play. And it's like, if you put opera music in the background, it will match them. And it's just, I think it's just a difference in terms of football and culture. That's what that is.
Yeah, if you have music behind Rooney, it'd be like fresh metal, innit? You know what I'm saying? It's like some guitars, just going bad and it's something hard like that, innit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could imagine it. Yeah, like you could imagine that. So yeah, all right, we'll start with you, Stro. Is there anyone who was close to making your team or you felt bad about leaving out? Any position?
Rooney.
Okay. And why would Rooney get in your side?
He was just... He was a generational talent. Rooney, when he first broke through, I remember when we took him to the Euros, he was raw. Yeah. He had skills. He was powerful. He was quick. He could do everything. He could finish with the left. He could finish on the right. He was a joke to watching. From a Liverpool fan, it was frustrating because he was for our 2 biggest rivals. Started off at Everton and broke onto the scene with that famous goal against David Seaman and then moved over to you scumbags, and it was just like, and he just did everything. Like, he was a phenomenal player. Like, he was one where I enjoyed watching him because he had everything. He could tackle, he had a bit of bite, that nasty streak in him. You could tell he had the hunger to win, and yeah, at times he was unplayable, and at one point he was by far one of the best. He was the best player in the world at one point, without a shadow of a doubt.
Good. So how tough? So you found it tough. So I'm guessing that obviously what you said previous, if you would have dropped anyone out from it, would have been Drogba. So what edged you towards? Yeah. What edged you for? Considering what you just said there, what edged you for Drogba over Rooney?
Just the impact in the Liverpool-Chelsea games that Drogba had.
Okay.
He single-handedly won games against us, and he always had that. He always nicked a goal against us, and he always scored against us. But not just that, he was, I think, when he first came in and Mourinho first had that system in 2004, he was the first time where you've seen a number 9 by himself. And that team revolutionised that one striker, and then the wingers, and he was just, I just loved watching him. I honestly did. Even though he was a Chelsea player, I love watching Drogba.
I know what you're saying. And is there anyone else from any other positions who missed out like a little bit, or you feel bad about leaving out because you rate them on a whole?
Just
Vieira, obvious reasons. Okay, fair enough. What about same question to you, JV? Is there anyone you left out, any position who was close to getting in, or you felt bad about leaving out?
I ain't gonna lie, I've had a little sleepless nights about this or a week and that, and it's Scholes, isn't it? Like I woke up the other night in a cold sweat and I thought,
crazy. I forgot that you left out Scholes. Go on.
Know what it is? It's for me, it's the system.
Okay.
And also, if you look at my team is. See, this is labelled the greatest ever Premier League 11?
Yeah.
This is what I feel would have been the greatest. Okay. Simply because I just think a Keane and Vieira central midfield, I don't think you need, for how they operate a central midfield, I don't think you need a third man.
I get what you're saying, but I believe, obviously, Scholes, we got towards the latter end of his career, sat. But people forget Scholes was more, I'm thinking the more attacking Scholes would be even better effective in that. So you don't have to do any defensive work. That's why I put my midfield free of Keane, Vieira, Scholes, because to me, that gives you everything. That's
the only reason why for me, Scholes would have been Scholes or Rooney.
Okay.
And I'm not sitting here right now before the comments murder me. Yeah. I'm not sitting here saying that Scholes is better than Rooney. Saying that Rooney's better than Scholes. I don't believe that. Yeah. I believe Scholes to be the better player. Mm-hmm. But for what I want from this team, I'm all action. I'm goals.
Yeah.
Rooney is a better striker than Scholes. That's not in question. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Scholes is the better midfielder overall. Yeah. But mine is just straight firepower. I'm designing this team as if I'm making this on pro.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that to me, that midfield there, them two.
That's exactly why I picked those two. And obviously Stroh said as well, Vieira, what's it called? Vieira left out. How close was Keane to getting into yours though, Stroh? Did he pop up?
Yeah.
In your thought part? Okay. Just asking.
They were 5. They were the 5.
They were the 5, and then you had to pick 3.
It'd be stupid for any Liverpool fan to try and turn around and say Keane wouldn't make it, because he would. Gerrard based most of his game off Keane. Gerrard openly came out in interviews and said that he looked up to Keane. So it'd be stupid.
I hear that. I hear what you're saying. JV, anyone else you missed out?
Obviously, Gerrard as well.
I said John Terry, you know.
Oh, he's not even in it, fam. He's not even in it, bro. My man, Chelsea brother, talk to me on Twitter. He's not even in it. Yeah? Yeah. He's not even your best defender. He's not your best defender that you've had. He's not. It's just because he's English, yeah? Well, let's not get into that. Honestly, Rio. But I've seen me really leaving Rio out is because I've seen Rio Vidic.
Yeah. Okay. I hear that.
And I believe that Rio and Stam would just be like another version of Rio and Vidic.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Mine is a throwback. Mine's a throwback to my defenders, 2 defenders, is a throwback to Pallister Bruce. You know, just 2 straight brutes. Just, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's just, there's no I don't need a ball player. Just, and then, and call when Keane and Vieira say, yo, come get this.
Yeah. That means
give them a 2-yard pass.
Could play as well. Stam could play. To me,
that's what I mean.
Yeah. When I was picking mine, that was to me it was a question of Stam and whoever else. Stam.
No, I know Stam could play. That's what. My 2. That's the 2 areas where it's the Stam and Vidic and the Keane and Vieira. That is like a dream scenario.
Yeah.
So I can't pass that. I can say, for me, that, like I said to you, I could easily have said, all right, Scholes and Keane. I've seen that, bro.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've never, see, you're like, all right, then imagine, this is what I always thought. My thinking here is, imagine a Rooney with a Shearer.
True.
Or imagine a Henry and Ronaldo on your wings. Like,
yes.
What?
That's why I picked that.
That's my thinking.
That's exactly, yeah. Me and you had the same thought process on that. Yeah, go on, continue.
I'm thinking when I'm thinking the best right winger, it's Ronaldo. The best left side. See, when I'm saying left winger, I don't want Henry to play as a left winger in my thing, But it's just to stew him in. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what
and then it's who would be the best foil for someone like a Shearer? It's a Rooney, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? That Rooney always liked to have a proper finisher either next to him or just ahead of him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He would have been, both of them would have been the perfect foil, because Rooney would have been putting them through balls for Shearer to blast them through the top of the net. And then Shearer would have been getting them knockdowns in and poof, you know what I'm saying, where he's elbowing 4 defenders on the way. And then Rooney's getting the finish. Do you know what I mean? It's that perfect type of foil. That's why mine's more of dream scenarios.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? My team.
Mine was the same, because in terms of that, because Keane and Vieira, I still find it tough to, even all these years later, pick between them two. Now I hate that debate. And they're my 2 favorite central midfielders of all time. So that's why you talking about dreams. Imagine those 2 together. Look at the ones they had against each other. If you put them together, I think you could put a midfield 3 against them and they'd be fine. That's what
I'm saying. Didn't they say that? I'm sure they said that on a documentary, That documentary.
Yeah, they did. It was a documentary them two.
The best of enemies. I might watch that again, actually. Yeah. The best of enemies.
I'm sure they said something like, if me and you play together, oof. You know what I mean? I'm sure they even looked at each other and thought, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, imagine those and then Scholes off of that.
There'd have been bodies everywhere.
Bodies, bro. You get what I'm saying? Man could kick a bit more than times as well. You know what I'm saying? So
they'd have been kicking man up in the air.
I hear that.
That's what I'm saying, man. And they had the hard nut thing, but they could also play. They also had the long ranges. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they could play.
Myself, I was a centre midfielder when I used to play my local dibby football. What man used to play? You know what I'm saying? My local Sunday league thing. So I always looked up to them 2 man there. Yeah, my number was number 16. Keane, you know what I'm saying? That was my number when everyone was like, I want 7, I want 9, I'll give me 16, fam. 16.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, that was my thing. Them 2 were my guys. That's my type of football, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Scholes was very hard to leave out, very hard. But it's like I'm leaving someone out because he's the guy, you get what I'm saying? You've
seen it before type of thing.
Yeah, and it goes without saying type of thing.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, because I think if us doing this 11, if someone picked Giggs, Keane, Scholes, Beckham, no one would have no complaints, really. Everyone would be like, I don't understand why you would pick that for, so I get it. With mine, obviously for obvious reasons, Schmeichel, that's very, because like I said, between him and Czech, I'm not going to argue anyone down. Dennis Irwin as well. People forget, obviously the younger generation don't know, people forget how good he was. Consistent, could play right back, left foot, right foot, took free kicks, took penalties. Like, people forget this guy took a free kick, top bins at Anfield. You know what I mean? Like, people forget.
Yeah, bad boy free kicks, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was.
If you didn't know my man's a defender there, and you're seeing that, you're probably even thinking that's a forward.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people forget how good he was, consistent as well, rarely injured, no trouble, quick, like, just quality. But obviously, for obvious reasons, I had to leave him. It's tough between him and Ashley Cole. But shout out my sister, because that's what she popped up with their swing. She's slightly older than us, United fan. And she was like, what? No Irwin. And I was like, it's tough.
Do you know why? Irwin goes along with my Scholes argument. And the Beckham and the Gig, they're like pre-99. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Untouchable era.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, Scholes was still quality, but that era there, they were like, that's theirs. If we do a 92 to 99 team, it's United, bro, and maybe 2 or 3 other players. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, obviously. And this one might surprise you as well, 'cause I'm a massive fan with him, and I really hated the team that he played for, but I thought he was phenomenal. He was severely underrated, and he went on to have success. Xabi Alonso, I thought he was quality. He was quality, especially him next to Mascherano, and then he had Gerrard in front with Torres. I just think if Liverpool would have added a couple wide players or even one decent wide player, I looked at the spine and I'm like, as much as it pains me to admit, I hate it. Like, I'm a big fan of Xabi Alonso. Like, at one point, I was calling myself Xavi for Alonso. Like, that's how much I rated him, you feel me? Like,
I think I remember that, bro.
Yeah, see, you would have remembered them things. You would have remembered them. And then I think I did it. This was when he finally moved, that's when I could like hail him up properly. When he finally made the move to Madrid, because I thought he was quality. Like in terms of his touch. And if you look at him, you don't think, like similar to when we spoke on Aaron's show about, shout out Aaron United as well, people. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel and you'll see us all on there. Newsflash and European. When we spoke about Thomas Muller and we were talking about he doesn't look like he has any individual attribute that's fantastic. But with Xabi Alonso, his passing, ridiculous. His ability to always be in space. Like people talk about the Premier League being the quickest league in the world, which it is. This guy always seems to have time on the ball. All the time when I'm watching him play.
You know them centre midfielders that can turn you really slow?
Yeah.
And it's not slow. It's just like, oh, you're going that way? I'll go this way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then play it off and you're like, rah. But this man's running at him like a train, like a steam train. And he just, that type of, you know, when they just drop a shoulder and, you know what I mean? They've gone the other way. I know what you're saying, bro.
Yeah, like right.
Yeah, but not even that though.
Yeah, go on, Shaw. I was going to ask you because you're a Liverpool fan, obviously. And let me ask you this before you start talking about it. Was he rated? I don't think he got enough props. And let me ask you two questions. Do you think he got enough props from the media? Because I don't think he did. And also, did he get enough props from? Did he get enough props from what's it called? From Liverpool fans in your eyes?
Yeah, Liverpool fans idolised him. Liverpool fans loved him because he, like you said, he had everything. Left foot 60 yards, right foot 70 yards. He could score from the halfway line. He could do free kicks. He could
did that twice.
do penalties. Yeah. He could do everything. And the thing was the biggest impact he had was on Steven Gerrard. Was he would fizz that ball into Gerrard and give Gerrard more time on the ball, and he'd catch teams out cold in that sense. So he'd fizz the ball into Gerrard. So he was the assister of the assister. Do you know what I mean? Fizz that ball into Gerrard, and then Gerrard could turn on the half turn, quickly slip it into Torres, and we were through.
Do you think that was like the beginning of Gerrard becoming like an attacking midfielder when he had him? Do you know what I mean?
Nah, because Gerrard was doing that from 2001. Like
I know, but see, when he had someone as good as him, when he had someone as good as Alonso, he had more license. I feel like he didn't have to drop.
Yeah, no, to be
from early, he still had to get back. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes, yeah, but we had Gary McAllister and Didier Man, and them two would sit, and then Gerrard was just free to go do whatever he wanted.
That's different.
No, but still, what's it called? Like Didier Man, won everything in the game.
I do rate Didier Man.
Champions Leagues. What?
I said I do rate Didier Hamann. I think he was a good.
Yeah, like he did everything. So like, even though it's different levels, like they still give him the license to go forward. But the thing was, and you touched upon it there, was with that midfield three, that was as good as any midfield three in the world at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we just once again didn't invest correctly, and that.
I think I said it on the last show
in the Premier League.
Yeah. I think I said it on the last one. If you had a proper front three with, I'm not even proper three, two wingers to go with Torres at them times.
Yeah.
Deadly, bro. Yous would have been, because yous were always round and about, Champions League semi-finals, and do you know what I mean? Like, yous could have actually set up shop for a few years if you had a proper
I know.
To go with them man there. Because I always used to think, even like them times, I always used to think like you had like a Riera, Albert Riera, or Kaut was good, you know. Kaut was good, but he wasn't of that. I don't think Kaut was actually really a natural winger, was he? I think he's someone who was put out there.
Kaut, the thing with Kaut was a big game player. Like, he'd do it in the big games, Chelsea in the Champions League semi-finals, in cup finals against Hughes, but he was never naturally a winger.
Yeah.
And then we had like Jermaine Pennant, like he's not a Liverpool level. He's not a title-winning level.
No.
Albert Riera's not a title-winning level. Yeah. Ryan Babel, at the time, had bags of potential, but he just wasn't proven. And we just invested wrong constantly. So that was the frustrating thing for being a Liverpool fan in that time, was knowing we were so close to you And when we beat you 4-1, and I think it's March, and we're ahead of you, and the title's in our hands, and we just didn't have the firepower to kick on from there.
Just a couple. I really do believe like you're a couple with that spine you had, because at that point I'm hating on it because I'm like, that's the first time that I've been a fan of like a Liverpool combination, and it was paying me to admit I'm like, yo, these men are ballers. Like they are like I thought obviously I rate Xabi Alonso highly, but I thought the combination of Xabi Alonso next to Mascherano was the perfect foil, and then with Gerrard of Torres.
Yeah,
If you just add a functional left winger and then a right winger that is 7, 8 out of 10, like that's a title winning because you push United close. So it's like if you would have had that little bit more, like you said, just invested right at them times, you would have kicked on definitely because you was close anyway. It just like you said, the lack of investment.
Yeah, because we lost the league by 4 points. That's it, 4 points.
4 points could be 2 goals.
And no, not even that. We dropped 6 games at home, mostly draws against lower league teams.
Right.
Because we didn't have the firepower.
If you think of 4 points, that's literally a win and a draw. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's that. Oh, it's 2 wins. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's the fine margins.
Yeah, and it's testament to how good Xabi Alonso and Mascherano were that one went to Real Madrid and the other went to Barcelona, and they both had success. True. And they both had great success. Like when you sold them, I was so happy. Because I'm like, these are 2 ballers, and then look at the teams they went to, arguably the 2 biggest clubs in the world, you feel me? And 2 of the most successful clubs. So that's what it is. I want to ask you this, Stroll, as well. I pitch it to you, JV, as well, because we're talking about Liverpool. And I think everyone agrees in terms of when we look at the Liverpool side now, yes, it's the best in the world. And the only weak points is, the weakest point, should I say, I can't say it's a weak point. The weakest point of the side is the midfield area. So now imagine you have the Liverpool team you have now, and you add Xabi Alonso and Mascherano into that too. How good is that team? If you take out Fabinho and Henderson, and you play Xabi Alonso next to Mascherano, and then you have Ronaldo in front of that. Like how good, that goes to show how good those 2 are, that they would. I don't think there's many Liverpool players from the past I can think of who would improve that first 11 now. Obviously, Straw, I'll let you chime in. But let me take your thoughts on that.
I think if you gave any Liverpool fan a chance, the midfield 3 from 08-09 to the midfield 3 now, everyone's taking out midfield 3 from 08-09. Because, and I'm not just saying this, you've seen what we've accomplished with that midfield. If you add Alonso, Mascherano and Gerrard into that midfield, we're talking, I put a lot of money on doing the treble, similar to what you did in 99. That's how good that team could be. Mm-hmm. And players I'd throw in from the past is one player who I loved as a kid, and I don't think he ever really got the recognition he deserved. This is about Sami Hyypiä. Phenomenal man.
Yeah, he was.
Him next to Van Dijk is just exactly similar to what Vils was saying with regards to Vidic and stuff. Like they're just of similar molds. The problem was Hyypiä was around at a time when you had the likes of Ferdinand, and obviously at that point Hyypiä was coming to the end of his career, but he had big goals in Champions League finals, big goals in Champions League semi-finals, big goals away from home.
Against those, man.
He was a monster. Like him next to Van Dijk now is scary.
All right, so that'd be the 4.
Like he'd be the only one, yeah.
Okay, that's just interesting to hear that he'd be on top of the midfield 3. But yeah, it's scary to think of Gerrard off Firmino with Mane and Salah, and then Mascherano and Xabi Alonso. Just imagine Xabi Alonso feeding Firmino and Mane and Salah. Like,
do you know what it is, bro?
Go on.
Literally, if they had that midfield now, we won't be talking about they don't, and Corona licked in. Them man would have already won the league, bro.
It's true.
Them man would have won the league, bro. We'd be talking about, we'd be just like, just bring back the season so we can finish off these games.
Yeah.
Them man won it. They would have already had their parade pre-Corona. You know what I'm saying? That's the only serious, innit? You know what I'm saying, bro? Man would have won that. That would have been like, okay. Man would have been talking about, all right, so what are we doing about relegation? Yeah. Relegation would have been the topic regards with the season coming back, not who's winning and that. Man would have said, relegation and Champions League. That's what it would have been. Because I always, even he's made a belting point there with Hyypiä. Imagine him now as a Van Dijk foil, or imagine he had a Van Dijk-esque player back then. So who did he have? He used to have like Honcho.
Yeah,
Honcho. Yeah, he had Carragher used to play right back. John Arisa, who was one of my, apart from Robertson, was my favourite left back.
Yes,
like that free kick he scored against you was just ridiculous. He had everything.
I used to. He's you know, sometimes you get players and they kind of like finger the rivalry. Like I never felt like that with Gerrard, but it was always something about Arisa. I used to just, because I know this guy can shoot. He's one of them players. I'll be like, yo, shoot. Every time I watch him, I'll be like, shoot. You know what I mean? He's shouting at you, tell you, shoot.
Yeah.
Because my man's left foot was just different. You get what I'm saying? But nah, that's what I'm saying. Literally, Herpia. If he, even them times, obviously you had the Carragher, but I feel like Carragher was Carragher a bit old then?
No, Carragher was younger.
Right back.
Carragher was at right back, and we had Stefan Honcho.
Yeah, see that man like Honcho. What's that, man?
Don't you think it would have been better?
No,
Go on.
No, so I was about to say, like, to sum up Stefan Honcho, this quote sums it up for him. Zlatan Ibrahimovic played against him one time. This is the exact quote. I turn left. Honcho turned left. I turned right. Honcho turned right. I turned left again. Honcho turned left. I turned right. He went to the shop. Word for word, that's the quote. That sums him up.
Zlatan, a whole fool. And what's interesting as well, Rio Ferdinand was on a podcast that I watched, and this leads into what we were talking about with centre-backs and Hippier being next to a Van Dijk. I can't remember the name of the podcast, but people go check it out. Lost my mind. My memory's terrible, but they did a great job with it. And Rio said, he was talking about, he named like his top 5 centre-backs. And then he was like, it would have been interesting to see, he said he rates Van Dijk highly. It would have been interesting to see him play in an era where people played 2 strikers, to see how he had to deal with being one-on-one more. Because obviously in the era of Rio and Terry and Stam, he were playing against 2 strikers, so it was defender versus defender, whereas one, it's not easier, but it's different. So it would have definitely been interesting to see Hippier next to Van Dijk and picking up 1 striker. Would have been extremely interesting to see that. Obviously, it's different eras and it's tough to compare. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. All right, so we'll move on to... All right, what we'll do is before we got like 20 minutes left of the show, we will quickly run through our 2010 teams to present. Yeah, 2010 to the present. We'll run through our teams. Mine's kind of fixed, kind of not. I've got a rough idea. But Stroh, we'll start with you. So your formation and your team.
Start with me last time.
I'll start with you. All right. JV, do you want me to go first?
You go first, bro.
You want me to go first? All right, cool. No stress. I'm just trying to give you my airtime, you feel me? That's all it is. That's what it is. I don't know me talking in it. I'm just being pleasant, you feel me? Passing the book. All right, so I will go with 2010. I'll go 4-2-3-1. This is subject to change, people. Goalkeeper. Has to be De Gea. Prime De Gea, obviously we're talking. Not this current De Gea. Prime De Gea. Right back. I go with... Who's my right back? The moment all I can think of is Pablo Zabaleta. I thought he was incredible for City during that period. Left back. This is really tough to pick fullbacks because I asked my pops about this. This is a funny story. So I was like, yeah, my pops will know it. Obviously older than me and that. He'll know. He's a United fan. He'll have more ideas. So then when I asked him about 2010 to the present, I was like, what fullbacks would you pick? And he was like, son, that's what you would call a barren spell. And I was like, cheers, Dad. Yeah, thanks. I was like, thanks, innit? This guy offered no help whatsoever and that. Zero help in it. I was like, thanks, Pops. I go left back. You did give me this one, though. Azpilicueta I go with. I thought he was incredible. During when Chelsea fell off, and Chelsea would have a season where they'd be winning the title, then another season they fall off. His consistency level was different. And he could play right back, left back. Wasn't the quickest, but always seemed to position himself right. So yeah, I'd go Azpilicueta left back, 2 centre backs. I pick Kompany and Van Dijk. I go 2 centre backs. I think that's self-explanatory. The 2 in the 4-2-3-1, I would go Kante, obvious reasons. Like this guy helped 2 separate teams win titles back to back. Yeah, this guy won a Premier League's winners medal next to Daddy Drinkwater. Like he's won World Cups, everything. Like with friggin' Hoof and Wes Morgan behind him, and Daddy Simpson and Fuchs. Like, so yeah, Kante. This guy is I think it was Bizzo. He was like, "Oh, flawless is biased." It's just like, no. United dominated between 99 and 09. So obviously a lot of United players are going to get in. But we haven't dominated from 2010 to present. So there's less. I go Kante, Yaya Toure. Thought he was incredible. That season he had for City where he scored 20 goals. And it looked like he was playing overage football. Like this guy was just picking up the ball on the halfway line and just brushing man aside. He looked like...
Yeah, it was like men versus boys.
Yeah, say again?
It was like men versus boys.
Yeah, it was. It was like year 11 versus year 7. This guy was just running through. So it was like this guy was picking up the ball and running through, man, bagging free kicks, everything. Number 10, probably the best number 10, I think, personally, in that period, David Silva. I think he's incredible. I think he's absolutely incredible. Like, his ability to find space is ridiculous. 2 wide players. This is where I struggled. So I didn't get to this. Bale was one. I have to put Bale in there. I thought for Spurs, he was incredible. Like, he pretty much carried that team to where it was and got his move to Madrid. The other wide berth, I leave blank because I can't think. And then striker, it has to be Aguero. Has to be Aguero. This guy is injury prone, but yet still averages 25 to 30 goals a season. His goal scoring record is ridiculous. I think I'll have to double check this. It's only once while he's been at City, he scored less than 20 goals. Imagine he wasn't injured. He's a 30 goal a season, man, if he's not injured. Like, facts. No ifs, no buts, whether City are playing well or City are playing bad. So that's my team there, innit? Go on, JV.
I'll go.
Yeah, go
on. I struggled. So De Gea is the easy one. Like, that's obvious. Left back, I also went with Aspilicueta.
Okay.
The 2 centre backs were exactly the same. Company and Van Dijk, like you said, self-explanatory. Right back, this is where I struggled.
You struggled?
Because in my head, there's 3. So, Zabaleta.
Yeah.
Ivanovic.
Ooh.
And for obvious reasons, for the past 2 seasons and the records that he's broke, Trent.
Okay, fair enough.
So for me, it's like, I had to go with Zabaleta.
All right.
Because the 2... So if this was in 3 months' time and we've won a league, it'd be Trent.
Fair enough.
But them 2 have got winning leagues over Trent, so I can't do that. So it has to be Zabaleta. The 3 in midfield, exactly the same. Kante, I'd love to see him in the Liverpool shirt. He's been my favourite player for the past couple of seasons. I enjoy, he's like the Ronaldinho effect. I just enjoy watching him. Like, when he smiles, it just makes me happy. Like, he's everything. Like, he did everything for Leicester. Went to Chelsea, unfortunately won them league, but he's so underrated and such a phenomenal player. David Silva, I was devastated when we didn't get him because it was us and City.
Yeah. Screen's gone off. Stroh just showing off posing and that. That's what that is. Stroh, you still there? All right, we've had technical difficulties. We've lost Stroh there, people. I don't know what's going on. Go on, JV. Run through yours while we try to get Stroh back on.
So mine was obviously David De Gea. Yeah. Centre backs, full house. It's got to be the 2 centre backs really in a Company and Van Dijk. Right back, Stroh mentioned my right back, and it was
Ivanovic.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I was a big fan of Ivanovic. I always seen him as like a right back Vidic, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like Vidic, but at right back. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So it was always one of them. I always, you know what it was as well? He always had a vital goal in him.
I hear you.
He always had a vital goal. And even though I'm saying he's a right back Vidic, he was very good attacking, you know. He could cross and that. You get what I'm saying?
He was, yeah.
He was a very effective crosser of the ball, passing, everything. He is one player who I always thought, I was very surprised he didn't get a big move.
But you say Chelsea was probably, was his ceiling? Like, he won Premier League titles there, FA Cups, League Cups. Was he there when they won the Champions League?
Yeah.
He was there, so yeah, he won everything there.
No, but he won the Europa League with him and everything. I always thought he could have, done the Madrid-Barca thing, and you know what I mean? Or maybe even, because I think he left Chelsea and he went back to Russia or somewhere like that. Somewhere like that. Because he weren't Russian, but he played in Russia prior to that. So he was my right back. My left back,
Go on.
might shock a few people.
Yeah,
I was really a big fan of this player, Clichy.
Clichy was at Arsenal. That is a shock. Yeah, that is a shock. He was good at Arsenal, though.
I liked Clichy. At one point, I thought he was going to go and be a direct Cole replacement, Ashley Cole replacement.
Yeah.
I just don't think it ever thingy. But I always like Clichy. But that's due to me. And I said this when we do this team. Yeah. It's going to be dire. If you look at these 3 teams that we pick, yeah, I said this, these later teams will get battered by the 3 prior teams we pick.
Yeah, they would.
You put your classic team against this one and Stroh's, and then they'll all get battered. Do you get what I'm saying? And then I had mine was a diamond as well. Sorry, I didn't say.
Okay. All right, yeah.
So I had Kante in there as well. Yeah, I had Yaya like you did. So I had Kante at the defensive mid.
Yeah.
My 2 centre mids. The left side was Yaya.
Yeah.
My right side was Modric.
Ooh, Modric is a good shout. Modric. Wait, what year was Modric though? Was he still there? I can't remember what year he was because I was debating whether to put him in. I didn't know what year he was.
Actually, was it?
Yes, I'm not sure. I'll try it now, innit? Keep going through.
Yeah, and then it had to be. There was only... Obviously, Aguero gets in. Yeah. Mine was like a diamond in it, so I had Bale behind. And then it was Aguero. And then I had Van Persie as well.
Hey, hold up. Say that again. Sorry, people. I'm just sorting out my microphone. That's all. Say that again. So what? Go on. What was yours? So you had Kante.
Yeah.
So you had Kante.
Yeah.
Yaya Toure.
Yeah.
Modric. Who was your 10?
Bale.
Bale was your 10, and it was your 2 strikers.
Because I preferred, this is my side note to the Bale thing. Mm-hmm. I think when Bale went to number 10, that's when it was Bale. Okay, that's when them like 2 seasons where it was just like shut down business. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Where like, see the fanfare what Harry Kane gets. Yeah. Now, you'd think that he was doing what Bale did for Tottenham, and he's not that yet. This is why I don't buy into the whole Harry Kane thing, because Bale at Tottenham is different. Right. Harry Kane, for me, has yet to... Don't get me wrong, he scores a lot of goals. Sometimes I think we might have to start counting Harry Kane's goals, because I think he's getting extra goals. But Bale was like... Bale was undeniably world class at Tottenham.
Okay.
I think you could argue with everyone that Bale was undeniably world class. And then obviously Aguero, for reasons we don't even need to go into, as you already explained, Aguero. But then my partner for Aguero was Van Persie.
Ooh, that's a shout, you know. You making me you're making me maybe rethink my team. Obviously, at the top of my team, I did say this is all thought process type of thing. But I front 2 of Aguero, Van Persie. That might be a shout. But I don't know if my Van Persie bias comes from him because he's one of my favourite United players.
You know what it is with me? Yeah, it was Van Persie. Like, I think it was Fabregas who said this. He said literally when before he left Arsenal, it was, I want to make sure I'm right. I'm sure he said it was only him. This is Fabregas, Van Persie, and Nasri who were on his level.
Oh, he said, okay.
Yeah, and he said once like players started to go and that, he was like, yeah, I've got to go. Do you know what I'm saying?
Dipping.
Yeah, because he knew that he couldn't do nothing with the rest of the players. And then it's like when we got Van Persie, I always thought, you know what? I always thought he was good. He's one of them players who, you know, I thought, I was buzzing we got Van Persie. But when he actually come to us, I thought, yo, he is way better than I thought he was. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Quality. Go on. I might have to rethink my team in terms of formation, because obviously I put Bale in, but I couldn't think of another player to play on the other side. I was thinking of Robins, but obviously Robin left like pre that. So I'm like, who'd you really put in? Obviously people in the comments or people across social media, once we drop this, will be able to pitch in. Was my 11 still incomplete? But I might have to change. Even though I personally like wide players, I might have to change my system because Modric is a good shout, as is Van Persie. Maybe, because of midfield 3 of Modric, Kante, Yaya Toure. That's banging. And then feeding David Silva, like that's what that is. And Stroh is back, I believe so. I'm not sure. But yeah, people, we're working through it. But like you said, this really shows the gulf in class in terms of teams from 2010 to 20. But all right, Stroh, go on. Stroh's back, people. We had some technical difficulties. Stroh, can you hear us?
Yeah, man.
All right, no stress. It's all good. What was I going to say? So yeah, run through your team from the top again. Give us your formation and run through your team.
Yeah. So 4-2-3-1. So De Gea. Like I said, it's a tough one from a right back because for the past 2 seasons, Trent's changed what a right back is.
Yeah.
The only thing that's letting him down is the fact that he's not yet won a Premier League title. So then there's Ivanovic and Zabaleta, and for me, Zabaleta just edges it. Company Van Dijk goes without saying. Aspilicueta, he played every game in the season. I think it was 15-16 when he won it. He's a leader. He's a captain. Then Kante, love him. Love everything about him. Loved him when he was at Leicester. I hate Chelsea, but loved him when he's at Chelsea. He's one of them players where he was a Ronaldinho type. You can't hate him no matter where he goes or no matter who he plays for. I've just got a soft spot for him. Yaya Toure, from the 2011 to like 14, he was just unplayable.
Yeah.
He like I said, it was like men versus boys. He was head and shoulders above everyone. Powerful, strong. Once he got into that stride, there was no catching him and there was no stopping him. And he could shoot with his left foot. He could shoot with his right foot. He could head the ball, free kicks, penalties. He was a phenomenal player. David Silva, this was the point where it cut off. I was devastated when we didn't get him. We were linked with him, and he went to City for obvious reasons. And he's just a little magician. I think in his prime, he could have walked into any Premier League team and improved them. He's that good. Yeah. He's just so consistent. His eye for a pass, just everything, just phenomenal. Then Aguero, you've touched upon it. It goes without saying. If this man didn't have the injuries, he's challenging Alan Shearer for that top goal scorer or whatever. He's a joke. He could just natural finisher. He can do everything. This is where I struggled.
Same.
Right for me, it's and this isn't just Liverpool. It's Salah. It has to be because broke the record for the most goals in the Premier League season in his first season back at Liverpool, or in his first season at Liverpool, back-to-back top goal scorer in the Premier League. Looks like, depending on how everything goes on, fired us to 96 points last season. We're 25 points ahead at this point. Salah's up there. He's our top goal scorer again this year. Most goals in the Champions League, most goals in the Premier League is our top goal scorer. And I think his goal scoring ratio in the Premier League up there with Shearer. And he's the only one that stands out for me on the right-hand side from 2010 onwards. I could be wrong, but he's the only one that really stands out, given the records that he's broke. This is where I struggle, because do I go Bale or do I go Suarez? They've both got big money moves.
Okay.
Big money moves.
All right. Now, I'm just interested because me and JV obviously both picked Bale, but JV had him as a 10. I've put him on the right and you've put him on the left. But go on, continue.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I don't want it to seem like I'm biased. Like,
just pick your team.
I honestly, I would pick Bale.
Okay, fair enough. Because me, I didn't have a left-hand sided player, and you mentioned in Salah. I'd probably go Mane. Obviously, this is subject to change, people, because I've literally picked this on air. But I'd probably go Mane. But it really does go to show. Obviously, we'll put out these teams, people.
One second. Did you not pick yours prior?
No.
I did
mine on there as well. I thought you did yours before.
No, I had no. I had a skeleton of it. So I was like, I had an idea, but I didn't think it through.
Yeah, I had a spine.
Yeah, like come next week, mine could change. Because I've literally just picked Mane now.
I had about 5 players.
Yeah, like mine. Obviously, I had De Gea. Fullbacks was an issue. And the 2 wide players was an issue as well.
Yeah, to be fair, that's why I made Flawless go first, because I literally had 6 players.
See how he tries to set
you
me
know
up?
what I went with, bro? No, I went with my left back, bro. I went with Clichy, bro. That's all I could think of.
Bro, you know what? I was literally thinking about putting him, because he did it at Arsenal, and then he went to City, won titles there.
See, we are supposed to be family here, people, and see how these two try to set me up, you know, and I'm being nice, letting them go first. You see, huh?
You know what I did as well? You know what I went through for my forwards?
Yeah.
I went for, because obviously you didn't hear my intro. I went for Van Persie and Aguero.
Which makes sense.
With Bale in behind. Mine was a diamond. And I had a midfield 3 of Kante, Yaya and Modric. But we were saying this, was Modric there then?
Yeah, 14.
He was there, yeah.
Modric was there.
Modric might change. Modric might change. He might change. Mine could be subject to change because Modric. But yes, people, we are coming to a close on the show. Obviously, it's great topics to debate. So we've obviously done our 99 to 2019. Now we've done 2010 to present. Obviously, we'll put these out and let everyone have their input. I think all 3 of us, they could be subject to change because I think people could bring up names that we forgot. But yeah, people, salute to everybody supporting. Make sure you check out all the other shows on Pi Radio. Download the Pi Radio app, and you can catch us every Monday, 7 to 8. Hopefully, we'll be back in the studio soon. Hopefully, everyone's staying safe also during the coronavirus. Anything you might want to add before we finish the show?
Yeah, if there's anyone you've got who you can think of, because we said our teams are subject, what we'll do is we'll put the teams up, maybe with a few question marks, and we'll get some views in the comments to fill in some spaces, yeah?
Facts, subject to change. Yeah. Well, as always, man, salute to everybody listening. Make sure you follow us across all platforms. And this has been From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio. We will be back next week.